Sean B. Coco, Jigga. Understand what we trying to do.
Keep it real live.
Keep it real, keep it real, keep it real. Keep it real, it's real. Yeah.
Always keep it real live.
Check.
I hook you up,
Real.
I hook you up,
Still,
Me and you been kicking it for some time. Shorty, you ain't let me know what's on your mind. I remember when cheating on my girl was once my steed. But the love so good, you got me on my knees. Asking, please, can we make love tonight? I feel so right, hold you tight. Take my sweet time to let you know how I am feeling for you. So tight, your love is right, keeps me on, girl, all night. I love the way you hook me up, girl, with you. Always you, baby.
Welcome in. Happy Monday. What's up, fam? It's Jill Munroe, and you are locked in to KBLA Talk 1580. Okay, this banger from the Have Plenty soundtrack is John B, it's Jay-Z, and it's Coco from SWV. And because Andy is always on theme, but this is a theme that's a little hidden, might not connect it. Andy was put on this song by one of our Libra goddesses. We mentioned this last week, but we're going to mention it again. Happy heavenly birthday. I can't believe I'm saying heavenly. To Robin Ayers, her birthday was yesterday, October 12th. So we are sending a lot of love. We are sending hugs to her children, to her husband, and to all of her friends. And you, the KBLA delegation, the VIPs here on this show. We miss her.
Look, Robin, if you tapped in, little bro miss you. I just want to send love to brother Robbie, to the daughters, Brooklyn, Madison, to Mama Chakoa, Auntie Penny. You feel me? The Raw Squad that rocked with her, you know what I'm saying, when she was doing her Thug Thizzle. All of her friends, all of her families. Yo, if it wasn't for Robin, we wouldn't know about Jill Munroe.
Facts. And shout out to, our Power fam. If you aren't aware, Robin and I met hosting an after show for the Power series. Like, we're talking season 1, Saturday nights, 9 p.m. And that is how we first connected, hosted that after show, made a lot of different connections with the creatives and cast of that show. And when she was about to move from her previous show here at the station to her own show, she invited me on to do her pilot with her. Mm-hmm. And that is how Tavis was introduced to me. And that is how you are now introduced to me.
And I straight disagreed with you that night. Whatever we was talking about, I super pushed back on what you was talking about that day.
Like, who is she? What's she doing here?
Hey, but Jill, I just want to say you are holding it down. You feel me? If there was going to be any form of replacement, you know what I'm saying, for Robin Ayers, I'm going to give you your flowers, Jill. You are doing a superb job. Keep holding it down. Keep entertaining folks. And, you know what I'm saying, let's keep it rocking.
Thank you so much. And, Robin is irreplaceable. I'm just here in the slot. That's all. Today is also another Libra goddess's birthday. Ashanti. Happy 45th birthday to Ashanti. And Saturday, the drama. Miss Cardi B turned 33. So shout out to that. Offset's probably somewhere stressing out. What kind of gift says I still care?
So you gonna give the Libras their credit? I mean,
I do.
We've been popping this past month.
I do.
So
I said that Libras are my opposite. I'm a Taurus. We're Venetian.
Oh, you know what? We rock with each other, huh?
Yeah.
Libras and Taurus.
We're the opposites. We have a lot of similarities, but different, right? So, shout out to the Libras in the building, right? So tonight we got a full lineup. Stephen A. Smith is, what's new, catching some smoke, but this time it is from Serena Williams' husband, Alexis Ohanian. And, some people are saying Stephen A's bravado was a little on mute as opposed to how he usually comes at people. And they want to know why. But we'll get into that. Also, New York City has just declared war on the apps your kids won't put down. We're going to get into those details. And Jermaine Dupri says artists need to stop switching it up. We'll get into what he said. And, your boy Meek Mill is trolling, and it's a little tone deaf. Again, what's new? Buckle up, kids. It's the Entertainment News Update with me. But before we get into all of that, let me give you a conversation starter. Start your week off on a good note. Former Colorado star, now Jacksonville Jaguars star, Travis Hunter, he got baptized at church on Sunday before the Jaguars versus the Seahawks game, right? So big ups to him. Let's hear it for growth on and off the field, right? Reclaiming his purpose. He's a new dad, a new husband. First year in the league. Go on, Andy. Go on. I feel it. I see it burning you up.
Hey,
Go
with
on.
all the love in the world, this is not me talking trash or anything. I just hope that his wife either made the decision as well, too, or is going to. Because that equally yoked situation, I just don't know, my brother. I just don't know. Positive energy, though.
Positive energy. Listen, when we come forward, we're going to get into all of these trending topics and headlines. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Your ride with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Is reviewing life insurance on your to-do list? Now's the perfect time to add it. A friend recently told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I bumped this up on my list and got it done. I called SelectQuote and couldn't believe how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $16 a month. My husband's also 40 and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Knowing I have this checked off my list feels amazing, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-729-7070. That's 1-800-729-7070. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. That's 1-800-729-7070. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
Hello, KBLA delegation. Tavis Smiley here. On Saturday, October 25th, LA Trade Tech becomes the epicenter of ideas that matter. The Left Coast Forum is bringing together voices that challenge, inspire, and illuminate with keynote presentations from people like noted economist Richard Wolff, the man who breaks down capitalism in ways that make sense to working folk like you and me, and Dr. Cornel West will be there, the brilliant philosopher and activist who never stops fighting for justice and speaking truth to power and to the powerless for that matter. So this isn't just another conference. This is where ideas get tested, where the conversations that shape our future begin. Multiple plenary sessions, dynamic speakers, real talk about the issues that impact our communities, and then some good food and a live band. Saturday, October 25th, LA Trade Tech, Left Coast Forum. The event is free and open to the public, but you must register at our KBLA1580.com website, where you can also peep the plenary topics. The future belongs to those who show up and engage. So don't just think about change, be part of the conversation that creates it. The Left Coast Forum is brought to you by the LA Progressive, the Empowerment Congress, Community Coalition, Partnership for Growth LA, Southwest Voter Registration Education Project, LA Care Health Plan, United Teachers Los Angeles, Black Progressive Action Coalition, St. John's Community Health, the National Lawyers Guild, the Weingart Foundation, and more. Space is limited, so if I were you, I'd register right now at KBLA1580.com. Your voice matters. Your presence matters. We'll see you there.
Now back to more entertainment news with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Welcome back in. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. So, of course, you know how this goes down. If at any point you want to jump into this conversation, 800-920-1580. Get at us on social media, KBLA 1580. I'm at Stiletto Jill. Download the app. It's wonderful. There's lots you can do there. And, get in with our VIPs so that you can get the visual to go along with this audio experience with our chat on YouTube. Shout out to them. They're always keeping it fresh, keeping it going. All right, grab your snacks, get your beverage, get comfortable, because we have some things to get into. Now, before we get into our topics, I want to take a moment to acknowledge legendary actress Diane Keaton, who passed away at the age of 79 over the weekend. Her team confirmed that she died in California, asking for privacy. Known for Annie Hall, The First Wives Club, Book Club, several others, like we can go on and on. Her career defined decades of Hollywood's evolution, right? And she is a woman who I personally admired her personal style. She taught women to wear a vest and a fedora better than a lot of men. She had a style that I kind of coined tomboy chic, and that's my vibe. That's my lane, It's feminine, it's flirty, but it has a masculine quality to it. Like I said, lots of fedoras, lots of ties, lots of structure pieces, and I really like that about her. So, rest easy to one of the distinct voices in cinema. So, shout out to her. Okay. Also, on a different note, congratulations. It was almost happening when we were on the air Friday, but congratulations to the Las Vegas Aces, a dynasty. Now, I asked this question earlier. Andy kind of gave me a side eye, but I'm going to put it out there again. 3 titles in 4 years, 3 MVPs. Shoe, has had some comebacks from rough seasons. Is Asia Wilson making a case for the GOAT of the WNBA?
The WNBA or women's basketball or just...
I'm talking about the WNBA. I'm talking about the league, the L, like how we have debates about Kobe, Jordan, and LeBron. Could we make a case for Asia, Maya, and I'm going to leave the last one open, Cynthia, Lisa Leslie, who's one of my personal ones, Candace Parker. I don't know.
She's made an extreme strong case, for sure. There's really no denying that. She's made a strong case. She's definitely a sure ballot Hall of Famer.
Facts.
She has her footprint deep. You know what I'm saying, as far as her legacy goes. So.
And you got to think the Aces are a relatively new WNBA franchise. They've been around 5 or 6 years,
something like that, and put them on the map.
So.
And hit that game winner. What was it, game 3?
Yeah.
Just legendary.
And and then I know there's been conversations and questions about some of her methods. Becky Hammon, the coach of the Aces.
Becky Hammon.
I like Becky too. She was a coach in the regular league, the NBA, the men's league, I should say, was a star player for the New York Liberty back in the day. How is she shaping up as far as, we think about Pat Riley and Magic, Jordan and Phil. So.
You know what that means.
What does it mean?
Dawn Staley. We need you in the league, homie.
I mean, she says she's comfortable. I don't know. I would love to see her in the W, but I feel like I actually would like to see her in the league.
Dawn Staley?
Yeah.
I'd like that too.
I'd like to see her coaching in the league.
I think the fellas will respect her.
I think so too.
Who's going to pull the trigger, though? What organization will pull that trigger?
I don't know. It would have to be because she's comfortable in her program. She's obviously created something there that will live on, and she is a leader of women in that I believe she helps shape them and prepare them to be professionals.
Unfortunately, I don't think anything like that wouldn't happen until after 2028.
Well, there you go. So speaking of, Stephen A. Smith is trending again. This time, not for yelling about sports, but for how he handled Alexis Ohanian, Serena Williams' husband. He creator of Reddit and many other things. So back in January, after the halftime show, which Serena popped out on, did her little sea walk for everyone to see. Took a lot of heat for it, part 2, because remember, she did that back in the day at I believe it was Wimbledon when she won, and took some heat from it. Shout out to that. But Stephen A was critical of her, right? And had some advice for her husband. Alexis recently appeared on First Take. Stephen A wasn't in studio. He was remote. But Alexis, his memory is long. And he was like, I'm going to address it. So let's hear a little quick hit of what happened on First Take with Stephen A and Alexis.
Also, too, Stephen A. Smith, I think you had some marriage advice for me. Is that right? Or
Well, you know what? Listen, I didn't. People, headlines are headlines. We can get into that another time. But I was hoping you were going to be here. No, I am not qualified. Married? Right. Oh no, not me. Well, I ain't qualified, my brother. I'm not qualified.
I was going to ask because you hadn't been married before, right?
I am married.
No, see. Okay. Yeah, because I give advice to plenty of founders who want to build billion-dollar companies. And the reason I do that is because I build billion-dollar companies. Yeah. So I generally try to stay in my lane as advice
department. Then we'll talk marriage advice later. I'm going 13 years strong. We got
you.
Alexis, thank you so much. At Los NYC, 2-night event in New York. Incredible. Can't wait to watch. I'm looking for a Tiffany's crown. Appreciate you, Alexis.
Appreciate you.
So one thing, this is a slight, we don't critique others as how they appropriate things, but I kind of wish the other host would have stepped back a minute and let the conversation flow. The female host why? Because I kind of wanted to hear what the little, Alexis was standing 10 toes down, because this is what Stephen A said originally. He said if it were his wife showing that much energy towards an ex, he wouldn't be vibing with it. That is why the question of, are you married? And Alexis saying, I'm a billionaire founder who advises other billionaire founders. I stay in my lane with it. It was a subtle check, right? Slight, And Stephen A took it, correct. However, some are saying, and one of those individuals happens to be Steven Jackson, Stack, from All the Smoke, and former NBA player who, famously charged up into the stands when he played for the Pacers. That Stephen A seems to have a lot of smoke for people like a black billionaire, LeBron James, and black women, Jasmine Crockett. He has his straight shooter political angle, and he came at Jasmine and said that Jasmine needs to be trying to work with Trump instead of basically, doing clapbacks online and talking trash, that she needs to be trying to find her wiggle. And Stephen Jackson would like to know why Stephen A doesn't have the same type of smoke. Let's hear what he had to say.
Come on, Stephen A, bro. You get loud and all in your feelings about Braun. When Braun, he talking to a black billionaire, but when he talking to a white billionaire, you humble. And you come back on your show talking real respectful, mild manner, man. Hey, bro, listen, bro. And you dogging the black women. Let's stay out of politics and stick to talking about sports you never played. All right? Just stick to doing that, bro. We not gonna vote for you if you talk. I heard you talking about running. You don't do that, bro. We not gonna vote for you. No, we're not. But check this out, bro. Stop, bro. Okay, you do not have the same energy for other people, but you got a lot of energy for Braun and black women and not everybody else. Well, stop it.
So, one, I am not of the opinion that because you didn't play sports or do a thing that you can't share your opinion, opine. If that's the case, the fans, and I understand they haven't played, but the fans shouldn't be discussing it, right? By that logic. I think that observationally, as we do with a lot of things. There's a lot that can be garnered from that, but it won't be the same POV as obviously someone that has been on the court in battle. But there are things that are to be offered and add value to it. I say this as someone who opines for a living. So, I mean, that's my feeling on that. But I think 100% Stephen A. kind of works for Disney, whatever. He's been in the machine. He knows where the money goes, right? Where the money comes from, perhaps. So we have seen him sidestep some issues that might be a little more closely tapped into what would upset the bosses, the powers that be. But I also think that for a lot of people, men or whatever, when it comes to a woman, it's easier to come with the smoke, because even if said woman gets upset, there's only so far in theory that the situation can go. There's not that there's always a physical threat with men, but I think that it is different for some when you're talking to a man. Now, the thing about him and LeBron, they don't like each other, right? Stephen A. tried hard to keep it undercover for a while. Obviously, it blew up. He has his opinions. I agree with some of the things that he may have pointed out, but not necessarily all of it. But again, he opined. So I'm not even going to get at that. I am just going to say, though, that, I mean, sometimes, what do you want him to say to that man about his wife in that moment? Yo, you really should be. I mean, it's just Alexis defending his wife, as he should. He stood on business, making it clear. And other people have respectfully checked Stephen A. And, I mean, it is what it is. But Stephen A.'s jaunt into the political arena, I don't know. I think, of course, not here to tell people what to do. I know you've been doing sports a long time. You're probably bored, want to wet your feet in something else. But I don't know, Stephen A. I don't know. Andy?
I respect the fact that he's not fearful with some of his stances. I feel like in this political climate, it seems as if we have folks that might be a little bit timid. So, he's proud with a lot of his stances. I mean, I've heard him several times talk about how much of a proud capitalist that he is. So sometimes you got to understand the system that we're in, and you got to understand what folks are playing the game. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you just got to take the race out of the situation. I don't think he's looking at race per se on his grind or his grift, whatever you want to go ahead and use. But he's abiding by the system. Let there be a new administration at the top. He's probably going to be singing a different tune.
Maybe. I mean, I think also something to be considered is, right, if you're not in the room, you can't impact change. And on one hand, of course, I don't agree with everything Stephen A. says or how he rolls it out. On the flip side of that, does he put on other black people? Does he put on black women?
Hey.
He does. Now, some people, they play the game. Well, he's controlling with it. Well, he does this. Well, it's his stuff. It's his show. He is extending his platform. Now, I'm not saying it should be foot on neck, but when you are doing that, there is a certain amount of grace you have to allow for someone, perhaps, but like I said, you have to be in the room and in position in order to hold the door open for somebody else, right? And if you're not there, there's no holding open of the door. Andy?
So, do we got a yes massa a little bit just to pull the homies up a little bit? I'm just saying.
Maybe sometimes you have to, this is what I'll say, right? It may not be in that form, depends on who you're talking to, but do you have to play the game a bit? Absolutely. Absolutely. Now your hard stops, your non-negotiables, that's up to you, right? Everybody moves differently. And the way that you enact your cunningness, so to speak, you know, the way that you ride the beat, that's on you. But I do think that you have to, at some point, you got to find a middle and meet there in order to advance. Otherwise, we're just volleying back and forth with no movement, no gains. Somebody had to be nice to get us in the room, you know? Hattie McDaniel had to walk in the back entrance to receive her Oscar. That's what it is. Listen, when we come forward, we got more trending topics and headlines. New York, they are suing all of the social media apps. I'll give you the details why. We got some updates on Meek Mill, Jermaine Dupri, and more. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
You're in the know with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. Healthcare remains a key hurdle for Democrats as the shutdown drags on. Black House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries says it's hurting millions.
My friends on the other side of the aisle, they seem to believe that healthcare is an extraneous issue. We don't believe it's an extraneous issue. It's a central issue. This is the wealthiest country in the history of the world.
The Trump administration has begun laying off thousands of federal workers, mostly from Treasury and Health and Human Services. The Arthur M. Blank Family Foundation is giving $50 million to Atlanta's HBCUs, Clark Atlanta, Morehouse, Morris Brown, and Spelman, to help nearly 10,000 students graduate amid federal funding cuts. And Pharrell Williams returned home to Virginia Beach to launch his new Virginia apparel line, celebrating his love for the state. Fans lined up at a pop-up shop to meet him and buy his Adidas Adistar jellyfish shoes priced at $300 and already sold out online. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Slowing across Mid-City East 10 from the 405 all the way to San Pedro Street and westbound delays. There was an earlier crash coming up on Crenshaw, and they're clearing it out of lanes. That drive is still slow moving away from just about San Pedro Street as well. Downtown LA, 110 northbound slows from the 10 all the way to the 101, and southbound slowing out of Elysian Park from Stadium Way. You're on the brakes in stretches to just about Manchester Avenue.
The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation has been at the forefront of inflammatory bowel disease research and care for over 50 years. Learn more about research, education, and support at Crohn'sColitisFoundation.org.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
When Penn State fired Coach James Franklin on Sunday, the move reduced the number of black head coaches in Division I college football to 15. That's only 10% of the 134 Division I programs around the country. In this week's top 25 rankings, only one of the 25 schools has a black head coach. Number 13 Notre Dame is led by Marcus Freeman, who's in his fourth season at Notre Dame. Freeman led Notre Dame to last year's national championship game. UCLA played a role in Franklin's dismissal. The Bruins pulled off the upset of the year in college football when they beat Penn State on October 4th. The Bruins are part of Penn State's 3-game losing streak. Jackson State moved up to number 13 in this week's Division I AA poll. 5-1 Jackson State is the only HBCU team in the 1AA top 25. The next game for Jackson State is Saturday, October 25th in Las Vegas against Grambling. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Break out the champagne. Everybody get a glass.
Tavis Smiley is now ranked number 16 nationally and the highest rated talk show hosted by an African American on the 2025 Talkers Heavy 100 list of the most important talk radio hosts in the nation. Last year, Tavis ranked number 33 and the year before, number 45. The Tavis Smiley Show has rapidly expanded its national syndication to now include nearly 50 radio stations across the country and counting. Congratulations, Tavis.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Open enrollment is your opportunity to choose a plan that connects you to Providence's comprehensive healthcare network. Choose a plan that includes Providence and gain access to a dedicated team of highly trained primary care physicians and specialists. From nationally recognized doctors and hospitals, Providence ensures quality care is always within reach. When you choose Providence, you choose after-hours care through our nurse advice line, urgent care, or virtual express care. You choose 24/7 access through the Providence mobile app to message providers, request prescription refills, schedule appointments, check lab results, and more. This open enrollment, prioritize your well-being with the peace of mind that comes from choosing a provider that values excellence and compassionate care. Don't just choose a plan. Choose a plan dedicated to health equity and community engagement. Choose a plan that believes health is a human right. Choose a plan that delivers exceptional care and cares about your community. Choose a plan that offers Providence. Visit chooseprovidence.org to learn more.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Worried about eviction? You have rights, and Stay Housed LA can help. Stay Housed LA is a partnership between LA County, the City of Los Angeles, and local service providers. From Lancaster to Long Beach, we're here to help you with tenant education workshops, legal clinics, free legal services for eligible tenants, and online resources about tenant protection laws. Don't face eviction alone. Call our hotline at 1-888-694-0040. That's 1-888-694-0040. Or visit stayhousedla.org. Stay Housed LA, keeping Los Angeles residents in their homes. Stay Housed LA, your rights, your home, our community. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey there, Los Angeles. This is James Lucky Jr., publisher and editor of Los Angeles News Observer. Are you hungry for news that matters to you in the African-American communities of Los Angeles? Well, buckle up, because we got the scoop you've been craving. Stay in the know and never miss a beat with our free weekly publications conveniently available near you. Or hop on the digital wave and become an exclusive subscriber at OGNSC.com. Don't forget to join the party on Instagram and Twitter at OGNSCINC for behind-the-scenes access and sizzling updates. No more FOMO. Let's stay informed, connected, and empowered together.
You're listening to Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
It's the world's most talented record label, Murder Inc. And that angelic voice you hear in the background, oh, that's our new princess of hip-hop and R&B. Yeah, Mr. Shanti.
Boy, you fill me with so much joy. You get whatever it is I need. My love, here to stay, won't never leave. So glad that you fell in love with me. My love is so good that I wouldn't be without you, babe. Couldn't see me without you, babe. My love is so good that I wouldn't be without you, babe. Couldn't see me without you, babe.
Welcome back in. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. You know, we're hitting off these trending topics and headlines, vibing to the Libra goddess Ashanti. Happy birthday again, Ashanti. 2002 was a moment. Come on, Ashanti. That first album, Murder Inc. did their thing.
2002 was a great year.
It was. Musically, it was a lot happening.
Ja Rule was definitely popping in those.
Man, listen.
Eminem too.
Okay.
Dang, you ain't gonna show love to Eminem?
I don't remember what phase of M we were at then. Was it the moment when I had checked out and I was like, okay, because for me, Eminem is a dope rapper, right?
Mm-hmm.
Lyricist, all of that, but I don't find a lot of replay value in his music. Like, I listen to it, I think it's dope, I think he spit, and that's about it.
I'm with you on that. I mean, I guess, you know.
Unless you're talking about Forget About Dre. That's my joint.
Well, this was definitely after Forget About Dre. I want to say this was the third album from Eminem, so this might have been after 8 Mile, so like Lose Yourself.
Okay.
I want to say cleaning out my closet, I'm sure, or whatnot. But it was a good time. I mean, if you was a fan of like MTV, TRL,
Right.
VH1, BET, and all of that type of stuff, like Eminem was on that screen like
was.
all day, every night.
I mean, here's what I will say, right? Eminem being ahead of the curve saw the stranger danger of fans because, listen, we call them stans still to
facts.
this day.
Right. You are 100% right.
To this day. So, you know.
Oh, yeah, and Making the Band was popping, too.
Listen, that was my show.
That was my show, too.
That was my show. Cheesecake.
Oh, Diddy, man. You done messed up, homie.
Man. All right, so look. Producer Jermaine Dupri, right? He's a legend.
Hold on, Dojo.
What's up?
We ain't played Stephen A's response.
Oh, my bad. I forgot. Listen, I forgot. I'm like, bump what Stephen A said. You are so right. I'm like, and moving on. So let's run that back. Move it back. Shout out to Royal Jenkins in the chat. Nelly, that's right. Only ones moving units is Pimp Juicing us.
Nelly was popping too.
Nelly was. Look, Air Force Ones.
You're right.
Country Grammar.
Yo, he brought the Air Force Ones back, essentially, right?
So here's the thing, right? I started working at Nike in 2003. So a little bit after that song dropped. I'm going to tell you, Uptowns, Ones, whatever you want to call it, I had no idea what those were.
Really?
I didn't know until I got to Nike. I didn't know what an Air Force One was. I couldn't tell you the difference between an Air Force One and a Dunk.
Hold on. How you work for, you said until you got to Nike.
Until I got there.
He wasn't like a sneakerhead or anything like that.
No, like I mean, you know, I knew about Jordan. I got my first pair of Jordans working at Nike.
Nice.
So my first pair of Jordans, reissue obviously, were the Olympic Jordans.
Oh, those are fire.
So, and of course, those are my favorite. The thing, the concretes, you know, da. And so I developed my sneakerheadness while I was there. But prior to that, like, you know, I was a little preppy kind of. So, you know, I like when I was a kid, I wore Vans. I wore like Nike Cortez.
Right.
You know, whatever.
Was it did you rock Converse?
I did rock Converse because I'm an LA chick. Converse and Nike Cortez. I'm LA. That's you know, I even rocked K-Swiss back in the day.
You rocked the K-Swiss?
Back in the day,
yeah. That's violation right there.
It's not violation. I rocked K-Swiss when I was like in the fourth grade. That's okay. That's okay. Oh, and I have some on today. I did rock Air Max, like the 93s and the 97s.
Did you rock British Knights?
No.
Regulators?
No, what are regulators?
LA Gears?
I did not, but I did want the light up LA Gears. I can't lie. I did not rock them. But, you know, you want to take it back. I also rocked some Elise and some Fila.
Elise with
the 4 rhinestones in them on the side. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's play Stephen A's response. He was respectful. And, you know, again, he's talking about somebody's wife. So, ain't much. There isn't too much you can say in response. Let's go.
Glad that it didn't escalate or anything like that. He is her husband. He loves her dearly. They have 2 wonderful children together. And I have absolutely no issue with him whatsoever wanting to address that situation with me because that's her husband. And I certainly meant no disrespect towards him at all. I was just saying that men, knowing us as men, you know, if we're married and our wife is showing energy towards anybody else, even in a negative way, we're asking ourselves, if you're happy, why show that energy? You know, that's it. But that's all it was. But I wasn't going to get into it on national television. I'm a professional. Now, if it had escalated and he wanted to get into it more, we'd kept the cameras rolling. I'd have said fine. But he was sitting there saying, you wasn't married, right? So, you know, you give it marital advice. That's how he framed it. And he says, I give advice about building companies because that's what I do, essentially implying that I'm not married. So who am I to say something like that? I'm saying paraphrasing. I think that's a fair comment on his part. I don't have to agree with it, but I took no offense to it, you know, and if I had been in studio and that was something that he wanted to broach, I would have reiterated what I said. maybe in a more respectable manner than my initial reaction after Super Bowl Sunday when I was just having fun. But that's neither here nor there. The point is that I respect him. That's her husband. That's his wife. And evidently he didn't like what I said. I respect it, and I wish him and his wonderful wife, who I think is the GOAT, greatest female tennis player of all time.
So, essentially, he said, I was just having a good time. And we know sometimes people aren't going to take it the right way. No harm, no foul, moving along. But I do think that it is important to know that Stephen A. said, well, yeah, as men, what we feel, Alexis is a man, So, yeah, sometimes there can be a general consensus, but people are individuals. And what I always say is, what rocks for you, especially in your marriage, may not be the same thing as someone else. So don't project your values inside of a marriage, when they're not inviting your commentary per se, because we all give commentary. They're never really inviting it. But, don't have the expectation necessarily that is how we should all function. We know that. Just bears reminding every once in a while. Andy?
But, when you're a public figure, though, don't you kind of open yourself up to that?
You do, 100%. No, you 100% do, and you put your relationship on there, especially if you are promoting your lifestyle as a means to, promote a product. You are putting your lifestyle out there as something that people should aspire to, or at least look at and say, hey, I'd like to do that like them. So I feel like you are opening yourself up to a bit of scrutiny. At the same time, when we opine, if we're going to spit, somebody might spit back. I think that that's all it was. He was just, I think he was doing his husbandly duty, and he was trying to have a little fun back. And we all know how social media works, right? And if you have something to promote, what can I do to make sure that this gets out there? Oh, I can come at Stephen A. little bit. So I really don't think on either part it was that deep. But Stephen A. is not in the good graces currently for some. So I think that everything is like, well, what you doing? And why you didn't spit back? What are you really going to say? I disagree? And now what? Because when it comes down to it, with most of these things, just because you have a different opinion, that it's their couple and their situation. So, that's not something worth going to war about, because ultimately you don't care.
Yeah, I think people hate Stephen A. Obviously, I understand why. I really think this isn't even really big news like that, but the way social media blew up about it, they were just like, oh my God, did you see him check Stephen A? Like he was crying or something, like he lost his dog or something like that,
I think they feel that, I think the bigger thing is not so much that he said anything to Stephen A., but that they feel like Stephen A. didn't have the same smoke that perhaps he would for these other individuals.
That's what it is. But at the same time, LeBron did step up to Stephen A.
In the same way. It's the same way kind of with this Alexis thing. Well, what I say about that is that, and I said it at the time, I'm not mad at you having the conversation with Stephen A., but you, LeBron, 20 plus years in, know what you're doing, stepping to him publicly like that. So there was a message in the method, point blank, period.
And that's why Stephen A. got the smoke for LeBron.
Right. Differently.
I feel like Stephen A. has been a supporter of LeBron. Can we not critique? Can people not critique Bronny James?
Dang. Again, I was with Stephen A. on what he said literally. But I also understand people are sensitive about their kids, especially considering what Bronny was going off of, blah, 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 blah. We are at a weird point where it's also the thing of people feel like if you publicly critique a black individual, one of our black icons, legends, you are doing a disservice to the community by doing that publicly.
Jill Munroe.
Yes.
We got a new NBA season on the horizon, correct?
Yes, we do.
We got some new cats who are commentators.
Yes, we do.
We got the GOAT that's going to be opining.
Yes.
Are these players about to be crying every day?
I think so. I think so.
All right.
When we come forward, we're going to get into this Jermaine Dupri topic and what's going on in New York with this lawsuit.
Are you ready for the hottest entertainment scoop in Los Angeles? She's bringing you exclusive interviews with today's biggest stars, behind-the-scenes Hollywood insights, and all the entertainment news you need to know. She's breaking down what's trending, what's ending, and what's just beginning in the world of entertainment. You're riding with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Looking for a purposeful and passionate way to make a difference in your community? Volunteer with our Senior Medicare Patrol and help prevent Medicare fraud. S&P volunteers work in their community educating peers about healthcare fraud and how to prevent and detect it. Free training starts soon. Check us out online or at an S&P open house near you. We're on a mission to stop fraud. Join our team. You make a difference. Visit caspvolunteer.org.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver Card, so let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. The Capital One Saver Card is at table 27, and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver Card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Los Angeles Regional Food Bank is on a mission to fight hunger and provide nutritious food to those in need across our community. They partner with federal, state, and local programs advocating for better policies and funding for critical hunger relief programs like Cal Fresh, the Emergency Food Assistance Program, and the Child and Adult Care Food Program. The food bank works with coalitions and local representatives to make sure hunger is addressed in every district of LA County. They also run nutrition education campaigns, raise hunger awareness, and source nutritious food for distribution, all while supporting regulations that allow food pantries to operate safely. Want to help? Visit lafoodbank.org or call 323-234-3030 to volunteer or find a food bank near you. Together, we can ensure that no one goes hungry in Los Angeles County. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
You're listening to Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Welcome back in. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. All right, so Jermaine Dupri has started a debate. He said that artists should keep giving fans what they like instead of experimenting too much. So let me give you the exact word. He says, artists will never learn. Once the people like you, all they want you to do is keep giving them what they like, not go and experiment with some new stuff. I said stuff, he didn't. What you guys that are so quick to respond to my artist message are missing is that the music and the artist are two different things. Changing the sound of the music is not what I'm talking about. Changing the genre is not what I'm talking about. I guess what he's trying to say is when artists switch up too much, for example, he talked about Beyonce. Beyonce was still Beyonce with her Cowboy Carter album, but it was country music. However, I think the flip side of that is Beyonce had to first establish herself and become legendary I guess, in order for people to be open for that. If after B's first album dropped, right, we got this country album, would we have been open to it? Would we have been like, yes, Beyonce, because everything Beyonce does is amazing? Or would we have been like, she's tripping? I'm going to go with the latter. And I say that because if you recall, when she did the Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me, or whatever it was called, right? The sequel. And she was Foxy Cleopatra, and she had the song on the soundtrack, Work It Out. And that's kind of the direction she was headed initially for her solo album. Kind of a 70s funk soul vibe thing, a little bit playing off of that. And the audience was not receptive to it. Now, people will have revisionist history now and act like everything Beyonce dropped, people were like, yes, girl, yes. But they weren't. Realistically, Ashanti was bigger than Beyonce at the opening. You know, Ashanti dropped in 2002. Beyonce dropped her solo in 2003. So the bigger artist was Ashanti. So I think that is what he is alluding to. You know, he because people gave examples like Rihanna and Beyonce and Outkast. Now, here's what I'll say about Outkast. People were unsure initially how to respond to Andre. And I do think the audience kind of split. There are Outkast fans, but there are definitely fans that are Andre 3000 fans that aren't necessarily Big Boy fans, you know? So I get what he's saying, but I think that what's missing currently is that a lot of these artists aren't, and we talk about it all the time, with artist development being missing, with music being more of a hustle than a passion for a lot. We get a lot of disposable content. And so when you switch it up, I guess, in theory, we don't even know who you are. I think somebody that is going through trying to find their sound and their way, an example, and maybe she has at this point, is an artist like Justine Skye. She's beautiful. She has a great voice. She's talented, but thus far, nothing's really stuck. But now she's kind of in her EDM, house music, dance range, and it seems to be going for her. But I'm sure that's not where she envisioned herself, and I'm sure it's kind of questionable for some of her original fans. Andy?
I hear what JD is saying, but I also think that if you're an artist, you should have the space to experiment. You're an artist. Be creative.
I agree.
If you want to tap in and be creative and experiment, why not? It might hit, it might not.
I mean, I think you look at somebody like Solange, who gave us different themes with each individual album. I think we saw that a lot more in, you know, our older artists or more traditional artists from the 70s and 80s. I think that actually music videos probably kind of dissuaded that because it locked us more into genre and niches in a different sort of way. You think about acts like the Supremes and stuff like that. They had album classics where they did traditional music, you know, show tunes and stuff like that. I think it was looked at differently before, and I think that other cross-discipline isn't as appreciated as much because we've niched down so much that people don't really like to travel across. So, you know, there's a fine line between staying true and staying stuck. And I like experimentation, but we'll see. Okay, really quick. New York City is suing the social media giants, right? They're taking on big tech, accusing Meta, TikTok, YouTube, Snapchat, and others of intentionally designing apps to exploit kids and fuel a mental health crisis. It was filed October 8th in Manhattan Federal Court. 327 pages. The defendants I just named: Meta, ByteDance, Alphabet, which is Google and YouTube, and Snapchat. And the allegations are the companies used algorithms that exploit youth psychology and neuropsychophysiology. 77.3% of New York high schoolers and 82% of girls report 3+ hours of daily screen time. The consequences are loss of sleep, anxiety, chronic absenteeism. The city has linked social media to subway surfing deaths, 16 fatalities since 2023, including 12 and 13-year-old girls this month because they saw it on TikTok, right? Social media addiction is kind of like the new tobacco, right? Engineered under dependency, wrapped in convenience and clout. Parents are exhausted. Kids are depressed. Big check keeps cashing checks. But whose responsibility is it? I guess we'll see. Listen, thank you for locking in. Of course, I'm here each and every Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 p.m. to get you off with these trending topics and headlines that burnt down the group chat. Coming up next is the voice of reason, Zoe Williams. I'm back at this tomorrow.
It's too much, y'all. What you call a stash? We call it petty cash. Spend 5 or 6 figures a month, ain't left a gash. Party all night, and we sleep all day. Drink Corona X for breakfast, then we ready to play. I still like them green-eyed, big old titties and thighs. Big old nigga, little heart, and I'm big at the thighs. So shoot your game, baby girl. Don't be scared to take a bet. You never know, just might be wet.
We still party. We get high. Sometimes we don't feel grown up, and that's no lie. So we party until we die. 'Cause life is much too short for you to not be fine.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. A new University of Houston poll by political analyst Mark Jones shows Black Dallas Congresswoman